So many of us are familiar with the Gayatri Mantra. We know it as this incredibly ancient, incredibly powerful prayer, a call for wisdom. But what if I told you that's only like half the story? What if there's a massive secret that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time?
And that is the big question we're going to tackle today. We're going to peel back the layers and uncover a really fascinating perspective. It's one that suggests this mantra works on a level that is so much deeper than most of us ever imagined. So, our first clue to unlocking this whole secret? It lies in the way the mantra is actually built. It's something that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, something a lot of us have just chanted right over without a second thought.
So the way most of us see it, right, it's the single unified prayer. We chant the whole thing to inspire what's called sadbuddhi, basically a good, righteous, and clear intellect. And look, that's totally true, but it's not the whole story, not even close.
The key, the real secret, comes down to this number, 24. The Gayatri Mantra is made up of exactly 24 syllables. And this isn't just some poetic detail or a random coincidence. No way. According to our source, this is the very heart of the mystery.
So here's the big reveal. The mantra isn't just one single prayer. I want you to think of it less like a prayer and more like a divine toolkit that contains 24 completely distinct spiritual powers. Yeah, every single letter is like a key that unlocks a very specific virtue, a unique strength for our personality.
Okay, so that sounds cool, right? But what does it actually mean for us in our daily lives? This is where things get really brilliant, connecting this ancient spiritual idea to something that sounds almost scientific, the chemistry of our own personality.
Just think about it this way. We all get that if you have a deficiency, say in a key vitamin, your body feels off, it gets sick. Well, the idea here is that our character works in exactly the same way. A virtue deficiency, a lack of courage, or maybe patience, or focus, it creates a kind of spiritual imbalance that really holds us back.
Right. And just like you'd take a specific medicine or change your diet to fix a physical issue, this framework suggests we can actually treat a virtue deficiency. The prescription is a focused spiritual practice called upasana, where you concentrate on the specific letter of the mantra that corresponds to the exact virtue you need to build up. And listen, the results of this kind of virtue therapy, they're not just some fuzzy feel-good thing. We are talking about developing tangible, real-world qualities. Things like increased brilliance and talent, much stronger determination, and a way sharper mental focus. And when these core parts of your personality get into balance, well, achieving success just naturally gets easier.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, hold on a second. If the mantra is one big source of power, how in the world can it produce 24 totally different specific results? It sounds like a total paradox, doesn't it? Is it one thing, or is it 24 different things? Well, the source material actually tackles this question head-on with a couple of really simple but powerful analogies.
Okay, check this out. Think about milk. It's just one thing, right? It's milk. But give it to a wrestler, and it builds muscle. Give it to a student, and it helps their memory. Give it to a yogi, and it helps their meditation. The source is the same, but the benefit completely adapts to the needs of the person who's receiving it.
Or, hey, here's another great way to picture it. There's only one sun up in the sky. But if you look out at the ocean, what do you see? You see millions, zillions of tiny individual reflections of that one sun, each one just glittering on a different wave. The source is one, but its expression is multiplied, changing based on the surface it reflects on. In this case, you and your own mindset and needs.
All right, this brings us to what might be the most profound point of this whole thing. What's really happening here when we do this work? Are we just improving ourselves through sheer grit, or are we getting some kind of blessing from somewhere else? It all boils down to this fundamental question. Is this whole process about inner growth, us doing the heavy lifting to develop our own personality, or is it about receiving divine grace, a blessing that comes to us from a higher power? And on the surface, those two things sound like they're from different planets, right? One is all about what we do for ourselves, and the other is about what is done for us. They feel as different as you can get. But, and this is the real kicker, our source tells us they're not different things at all. They are, and I'm quoting here, two propositions of the same fact. They're just two different ways of describing the exact same event.
So what does that really mean? It's an incredible conclusion. The very act of you developing your inner self, of putting in the work to cultivate these virtues, is how divine grace shows up in your life. The effort and the blessing, they aren't two separate things. They are one and the same.
And that just leaves us with one final thought. A question, really. If each of those 24 letters can unlock a specific strength just waiting inside of you, then the real question isn't just about the mantra, is it? It's about us. So let me ask you, looking at your own life, at your own challenges, your goals, which virtue does your personality need most right now?